Right. Hope y'all feeling all right. Let me see if I can get this thing going. Just coming on just now. Good to see you today. Family. So we got just coming into for a minute. We got the world premiere. Glad to have you here. See what we're working on. Coming on, coming on. Starting out with a football poll today. We're gonna see what we got. See if anybody wanna come through. See if anybody wants to come through and talk today. See what I got today. So, uh, how you doing, man? Yeah, I saw the game. I caught the highlights. Of course I caught the highlights of that. Y'all beat up Geno Smith. What you think? You gonna get excited about beating up Geno Smith? I mean, you beat them up so bad you knocked their quarterback out. Y'all, um, the comment section was funny. If did you read the comment section, the Green Bay Seattle game? Did you read the comment section about what the people said about the Packers game? They said they look like men against boys. They clown Seattle. You did. You stumped a mud hole against them. Jacobs ran all through them. Yeah, you should have read that. I was thinking about you because they was to dog in Seattle. They said how puny they look. They tore their butt up. They did. They did because I was cracking up because they did look huge. When y'all just ran all through Seattle, you ran through them. And one for that one turnover. Yeah, that was a great catch in the end zone. That one catch. Told you about Jordan Love. Told you. And I'm gonna tell you something. If Detroit or Philly fall off, somebody like y'all, the Rams could be dangerous. It's just it. That's it. And Minnesota ain't getting no love. I got to see Minnesota actually win. The Bills won, but it feels so much like the Golden State War. I don't like that style of winning. They supposed to spank Detroit. They didn't spank them. He threw a real good ball. I was very impressed. I was very impressed. I think y'all can do. I think y'all can do things. I think you're a dangerous team. Because one thing I noticed about Jordan Love, he gets that Brett Favre out of him. About 8 games deep, yeah, they're hurt, but it's it's the way they play too. Dan Campbell be trying to gamble too much. I mean, they defense sucks though, but it's not just because of that game. Let me rewind the clock. They played a. They were fortunate against the Rams if the first week, if you want me honest. You know, Against tomato can teams, they spank you up, but against teams that can hang, they've had some battles. They've had some battles. They should have lost that game to Houston. They probably could have lost that game to the Rams. Just saying. And I think Baker Mayfield tore their butt up too. So I'm just saying. They've had some suspect games. I mean, I'm just saying. I think Philly is the best team in the NFC. Just saying. So we'll see. But if anything, if Detroit don't do it this year, it ain't gonna happen. I just got a feeling this is as good as it's gonna get for them. So anyway, keep on talking. What's up? Yeah, if you play the season long enough, you do get hurt. That's just part of the game. Unfortunately. Ain't nobody got nothing to say about last night's games, do you? Thank you. Well, yeah, I appreciate it. It I put it into context. I was thinking about because he did. He's been through a lot. And it's amazing when I think about 25 years. I'm thinking, wow, don't seem like it. I still remember that game when he started against Miami and he threw that ball 50 yards down the field. And I was like, wow, that's like the dawn of a new day. And he's that dude that, that he is, so I'm pulling for him, you know. But I'm telling you right now because oh yeah. Yeah, he paid his debt long ago. And he pretty much cleaned himself up. Tony Dungy put a word in for him. There's a lot of factors. A lot of people put up behind him, you know. He got a little cocky in his Atlanta days, but hey, he was a black quarterback getting paid at a time when that wasn't the norm. I don't think people understand when I talk about it. It wasn't that long ago. They weren't exactly giving brothers starting quarterback jobs, you know. You could almost make a parallel between Michael Vick's career and Derrick Rose's in the sense that they had freakish accidents, injuries, and you lost them. What's happening with you? How you doing, CB? Nothing. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you. He sure didn't, because remember I told you, because you were young at the time. Not to, when I say this, hear me out. Black quarterbacks would come in the league, they would get the most wackest receiving cores. Cats wouldn't have nothing. Oh, they were hot. People was rocking it, yo. Ludacris used to shout him out in songs all the time. Vic was the man, yo. Vic was cool, yo. The braids, Ron Mexico. If you know about Ron Mexico, give me a one. If you heard about Ron Mexico, give me a one. That was huge. I know. Oh, you talking about that old John Ritter movie. That's funny. If that's what you talked about, Jack and the Beanstalk. If that's what we're talking about. But anyway, yeah, Vic was huge, yo. Vic was huge. I still remember when Dan Reeves' face went south when he fell and got hurt in that preseason game against Baltimore and Atlanta. Ray Lewis got him, and that's his face went sank. I remember it was cold too. I remember. I remember. That was a big deal. That was a huge deal. You know, yeah. What's up, Riley? What's happening? Yeah, but with better arm strength. Like had a had a whip on him with it. Lamar can throw, but Vic could throw that thing. I mean, I'm doing all right. How you doing? Doing all right. Thanks for asking. I remember all that, yo. You remember I had a front row seat to watching Vic. Please hit them likes too, by the way. If you're coming in, hit that like button. Let them know that you like the video. So please show the love and hit that like. Doing all right. Thank you for asking, Riley. Yeah, Vic was he was something else. Thank you. Anybody want to hit it too. Yeah, but time he got with Philly, he was near, he had lost a career. That's the only sad part. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Lamar and Josh Allen. But don't forget about Patrick Mahomes. Don't leave out Mahomes because Mahomes got something. Yeah, me McNair was bad. Mahomes got what they all ain't got. Appreciate that, Riley. Thank you. Jared Goff has impressed me this year. Yeah, he hurt, but they still 13-1. I've never seen another 13-1. Y'all can tell me, have you ever seen anyone 13-1 get so disrespected? Like, yeah, but I'm like, they're 13-1. What part of 13-1 you don't get? Even when he ain't playing good, he's still winning. What's that tell you? Best quarterback and the best head coach in NFL. And when it's all said and done, that duo has got a chance to be top three all time. If Carson Wentz plays halfway good, that's gravy. Oh, he got his ankle. He a little swollen, but he should be okay though. I mean, I'd probably say he could miss a game. They'll be okay. They should be okay. Ted, I might have to do a future video about who we lost out of Vic and Derek Home. Out of Michael Vick and uh why am I not thinking? Chicago Bulls. Derek oh God. Come on now, help me out. Why am I going blank? Derrick Rose. Yeah, that's it. I got a video I'm gonna do about that for the future. Okay, keep on talking now. Glad everybody coming through. Come on, keep on. Yeah, that sucks. I'm not. She's well, he ain't injured. I mean, he ain't out. He just got hit. It's part of the course of the game. It's a physical game. You get hit. I'm not a fan of the team, but I do think Mahomes is unique. And I do find myself when he ain't playing against my team, I do have a tendency to root for him because I'd like to see him make history. I'm glad to see it. It's just at the expense of my team, but I like to see the cat make history. I think he's something else. And when you can win like that, I ain't got no problem with it. Especially when you're dominant. I have no problems with people dominating. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to give up a whole lot for him. I mean, let's keep it 100. Shannon Sharp said it best. I saw him over there pouncing on Carolina, which he usually do when they playing. Thank you, thank you very much. If 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 he getting the scoops and play against Bryce Young and Tomato Whack, that's what he do. But stop making him out like he's against whack teams. Yeah, he stockpiles. He didn't stockpile against Cincinnati though. You know, so he's gone though. I think they would. I think they would entertain a trade. The only reason why they entertain a trade is because they don't think they can win a chip, which they can't. Not with what they got. They should be able to with what they got, but they can't with what they got. If that makes sense, they got the kind of talent that's talented, but it's not Super Bowl talent. Because I evidently Dak Prescott don't bring it, and they just have bad communication breakdown, and the pieces don't really fit. I like the running back; he's okay for Dallas, but they're not a championship team. So let's see. Poll is coming. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I did a video about him. He won the Heisman, but that fiance catching a lot of news though. People got a lot of takes on it though. Mm. Yeah, he deserved it though. Well, it's about time. Shoot, man, look, Joe Burrow deserves way better than what he's getting. Way better. To me, it's one of the most. Just to me, it's a travesty. If you must know, because you can't tell me that a guy with that kind of talent, that team, you gonna tell me that they're not better than Pittsburgh, that they're not better than the Chargers, that they're not better than the Broncos? I mean, you know, Joe Burrow. And I just think it's a travesty personally. Because that's the guy who should be in the playoffs every year. You know, he's the one dude that if you're a Bills fan or you're a Kansas City fan, you worry about. That's see, that's a waste of a career. He ran up the score to save your job. That's why he ran up the score because your punk butt up there struck. You supposed to wax Tennessee. They you that's the culture you have. How you gonna get mad when you let guys be talking trash about Kansas City and get waxed? Talk trash about Pittsburgh, get waxed. Talk trash about Baltimore, get waxed. Y'all been up there trash talking and you lose to everybody you trash talk. You know, outside looking into the playoffs, you ain't making the playoffs, and you and trash talk yourself into what? You a waste. That's a waste of talent and time. So I don't really I don't have no problem with him doing it. Okay. What you mean my thoughts? I told you I need a new coach. What you mean my thoughts? I told you before, just like I told you about Cincinnati. Hey, you need to get a new coach because you're wasting. You're wasting. Nothing burns me more than to see people with great potential and talent being wasted and it's not getting utilized, especially when they've been in the two Super Bowls, should have been in the three, choked two Super Bowls and choked an NFC championship. They need a new coach. I've already said that. You can call it a hot take, burn take. I'm gonna say what they don't say on Fox and the ESPN head. Kyle Shanahan needs to go. So what happened was, thank you. I come across something that Michael Jordan had said. It was true. I watched it up close. Now you were too young. You couldn't have watched it at that time. He used to just push him up and get under his skin, and then Zoe would flex and get mad and pout and want to fight. And Jordan and Pippen would come over and block him and get physical with him. Because I think that was the Georgetown thing. Because Jordan did respect Patrick Ewing, but they looked at Zoe. Zoe was like that guy who be Zoe was a good center, but Alonzo was a lot of time flexing like Kendrick Perkins used to. You know how Kendrick used to mean mug, and so Zoe would try to mug and pose and flex, but he wasn't that kind of a center. He didn't impose his will. He was strong and athletic, but he was like, there's tiers to centers. He was never in Shaq's level. But he could have definitely hung in a Dwight Howard type. He was strong and all that, but he didn't dominate. He wasn't alpha enough. And Rodman would get up under him and just work him and get in his head. And then he get stupid fouls, maybe a technical. He got him. That was a fact. I saw it up close and personal. I saw because I was, and it was true. That's why when Tim Hardaway Jr. Senior talks about scoring all them points, I'm like, you didn't do it then, especially when you're with Miami, you didn't. So, you know, but it was a different era of basketball. That was real hardcore, half court fundamental physicality. They would never let that happen today. And Zoe wasn't exactly going to the finals with dominating people like that. Miami had a record, but I remember the year when New York upset them with Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell. So he was never that dude. I like Zoe, but I'm not gonna sit here and revisit history. Now he was big for Miami off the bench in the finals against Dallas. He came up big then. And what am I supposed to do with that? I know Luca had that triple double. What we supposed to do with that? That means that two teams who ain't winning the finals. That's what that means in English. That's what Adam Silver wants. What does it mean though? Two overrated teams? It's embarrassing. Good for Clay. He got him a win against Golden State, but bad for Clay because he don't really fit Dallas. He really don't fit. That's what Charles Barkley was saying. And he was right. These teams today, it's just a matter of who you play. It ain't about no rivalry, ain't about it. It's who you end up playing. If you get there's some teams who can beat teams, but it's not good. It's not good. It's not at all. There's no characters. There's no suspense. You know, like in baseball, you had a Freddie Freeman who went off and you forgot how good Freddie Freeman was. You don't have it in NBA. You don't have that. That's what it is. That's why when Charles Barkley said about Steve Nash being Mike D'Antoni's system took a good player and made him to a Hall of Famer to an MVP. That's what we used to see a coach's system, a vision, you know. Dirk had one ring. He went to two finals. And the NBA is done the way they wanted to do it. That's what they did on purpose, you know. Yeah, he's a good piece. They probably will have some kind of twisted swap. It's really and the thing about it is I'm not even mad with Soto because he didn't really fit the Yankees. He came up nice. Alonzo would be a good fit. He was a spark kind of guy. Probably would. Baseball doesn't have identity no more either. Except if you get the right pieces to fit, then you look like a genius. Because if I could get Mookie Bettis and I can get a decade. Well, the problem is this. Say he plays at least let's just okay, Ted, let's say hypothetically, let's just say 5 good, great years, right? Do you really see Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton have 5 more great years in them? Do you see Garrett Cole with 5 more great? Because the problem that we run into is the bulk of the cats that are our main cats are older cats. And they not gonna be able to keep up with that cat in 3 years, let alone 5, let alone 10, let alone 15. Aaron Judge was a late bloomer. I mean, he got old before he started to you know, so he could get injured. You never know. He did do his part, but the Yankees got the wrong manager, the wrong vibe. Any other time, a cat would have stayed with the Yankees. That just shows you how much we done fell off. I'm just saying too. I'm surprised he didn't go to the Dodgers because he must like something in New York. But surprised he didn't go to the Dodgers though. But the only reason why I'm glad he didn't sign is because Gene Carlo and Judge are older. Because when Jeter had Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams, a couple of cats were about the same age. Pitching was you could get pieces and places, but Soto already got something that them cats ain't got. You need to get on the bases. You need to get back to fundamental baseball. Soto won a ring and he was in the second World Series by the time he's 26. Aaron Judge was like a kid who just sat in the bubble for 18 years and finally busted it. So and same thing with Giancarlo. Now Garrett Cole got a ring already, but they're not building cats together to come up with, and that's what showed. So we'll see. But gotta have it though. I think it's a joke. But you see, this is actually now. Let me tell you a story. Thank you for asking that question, Juan. It's a joke, but give me a one if you say yes. Give me a two if you say no. Would you want to see Oklahoma City against Milwaukee in the finals? One for yes, two for no. I want some real answers too. Don't sugarcoat because they can sell as far as Vegas for the cup. But would you want this for your finals? Give me a one for yes, give me a two for no. Okay, tell me why. Tell me why. Okay, tell me why. So you think Giannis and Dame versus SGA would make a great NBA Finals in June? Okay, well, I need to give me some answers. Okay, tell me why. I'm gonna come at it like the Stephen A. Smith situation. This don't sell for TV ratings. Good and well nobody wants to go to Milwaukee or Oklahoma for the summer. But I just want to hear what y'all why from a basketball perspective. Why you think this would make a good finals? I need to get some stories. In fact, I'll do a video about this one. I'm gonna do a video about this. If OKC and Milwaukee was the NBA Finals, would you watch? See, they've been doing it for like the last 15 years though, when they had Durant, Westbrook, and Harden, and they've been to one Finals. Oh, I like a good story. I like a good story. And on a serious note, I think Shea and them can win the chip this year. On a serious note, I'd like to see them in Boston play in the finals. If you want my honest opinion, I think that would have the makings of a classic. I really do. I think OKC got chance. Which youngsters do you think going all the way? I think OKC can go because when Chad Hogan gets back, Chad gets back. Oh yeah, I mean they lost that game last night. Um, the ribbons in his hair is a sign that that's the teams he want to go to. Yeah, yeah, they're not winning nothing in Miami. They don't play no defense. There is no sense of any kind of connection. And he's pretty much done already said, I got a feeling he's gone anyway. And I'm gonna tell you something what I know without even knowing it. If LeBron was gone from LA, Jimmy Butler would be trying to go to the Lakers. So but he saying Phoenix because he loved the team up with Durant and they need muscle. That's what they're missing. Phoenix is considered soft. So he would be a good fit there. Bam is upset about what? What's Bam upset about? Bam ought to be upset that he had to learn how to be a 3-point scorer. He had to learn how to play perimeter. That way he should be upset about. Because he could have stayed in his Zoleville and mean mugged and muscled and done a double double and had a little 10, 15-foot fade because he's a nobody. I'm a big Bam fan, and he is what we call an all-star kind of by default, but he ain't gonna get no calls. He ain't gonna get no calls. He's nobody in the big picture. Is he an MVP threat? No. Is he a game-changing player? No. Is he considered a heady like one of the elite heats? No. So no, he ain't getting no calls. And plus you out there shooting threes now. And you ain't Chris Bosh. You gotten better, but you ain't no Chris Bosh. So no, he's not gonna get no calls. A lot of people are Olympic players. What you want? Yeah, Olympic player. Let me go find somebody's Olympic player, and then I'm gonna. That's not something to get excited about. Um, tell you why. It was like an NBA joke. It's like sending someone to Saudi Arabia and like hurry they get buried and they'll hear from 'em again, and they end up winning the lottery there, and all of a sudden you got to hear about it. That was done as a joke. Yeah, but see, let me tell you something. He's not that dude. Now, Ted, do me a favor. When you go down the street next time, look and see how many Bam My Bio t-shirt jerseys you see. Let me know. Let me know. Matter of fact, go online and Google Miami shopping malls and see how many people you can see wearing a Bam jersey. Let me know. Let me know. He don't sell jerseys. He ain't that dude. He trying to. They don't want him. Look, he plays with a lot of heart. Kawhi left there because he didn't want to be in Toronto. Toronto don't have nothing happening for a brother. Usually, cats be getting out of there. That's why they don't keep him. And he came and won a ring, but it wasn't the place he was gonna make. I do believe if him and Nick Nurse with Sock'em and Van Fleet had they stuck around 2 or 3 years, I think they win another ring. And I don't think Giannis wins if Kawhi stays over there. I don't. He had that kind of impact. That was the right situation for him. Team wise, it was set up for at least another ring. I believe that. Him and Kyle Lowry, hmm I do. But I understand, brother didn't want to felt like he got traded like a joke, and he won, and he came and left. Yeah, Bam's trying to go Hollywood. He's trying to get like Udonis. Bam would be scary if you team him up with. He needs a De'Aaron Fox type of player. Put him with somebody that can create on the outside perimeter and let him do his 1-2. But he's not that dude. He ain't got takeover dude. He don't score enough. It would work, but he don't score enough though. It would work though. It would be wonders for him. That's what he needs is an upgraded guard play and a cats and not gimmick ball, not half of Jimmy, not half of Tyler. Oh, he would be scary with Luca. Good call. There you go. That's the one. More so than Steph. Because I'm gonna tell you why. No, no. I think he got to Charlotte. He done. They got Terry Rose. They got Rozier, Scary Terry. Now Law's done. Law's got let go about a year ago. He done. He old now. He was shot in the finals against Denver. They got him too late. They got him about 2 or 3 years too late. Yeah, Bam with Luca would be bananas because the way he could draw everybody out. Bam, and you know what? Bam with Luca would look like Chris Bosh. That's a good call. He would look like Chris Bosh because then he do everything he liked to do: dribble, penetrate, go, drive. He's not gonna get no calls with Miami unless he had a guy like that. Normally, I would say Steph's the guy you'd want to play with, and I would. The problem is that in Golden State, if Bam was playing with Steph, they already lighting the cakes in the box. So they would get exploited. Dallas doesn't get exploited too much in the glass. They get exploited on the perimeter usually because they try to outshoot everybody who they playing. So if Golden State had a legitimate like a Looney, if they could halfway control the tempo, then Bam would be sick with Steph. But I think him and Luca would be even scarier because Luca actually sets you up. He shoots from the top, but he sets you up. It'd be a whole different animal there. So that would be scary because of the size that they got. Mhm. Okay. 55 saying yes for Philly. Okay, it's come down quite considerably. Okay. I thought people were telling me the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the NFL. Okay. Y'all still looking at them sidelines for Jalen Hurt and AJ Brown, huh? Where everybody at? Come on now. Come on back now. Let's keep the conversation lively and bubbly. If anybody's on, let me know. If you're still on, let me know. I'm waiting for some more questions. No, because that was after the game. I'm not. Oh, I got a double no bills hat. No, the hat's chilling. I was glad to get the win, but I wasn't impressed with the win. I told you already. If you watch my video, I wasn't impressed with the win. They beat them, but they should have waxed them. I'm actually disappointed because they only it was 6 points. Now, it really was about 13. They should have waxed that butt by 23 points. They let them. I don't like the fact their defense doesn't stop that. They getting up too much, and that got me concerned come money time. I'm wearing it though. Yeah, it's a double hat. Barkley should probably get it. He's been more consistent. I think it's out those two. But if Barkley doesn't get 2,000, it did hurt him. I think he needs 2,000. Anything less than 2,000, I don't think they'll give it to him. Even though I think but if they finish number one ranked in the NFC, he'll probably get it because he's been consistent all year. Yeah. So Josh looks great. Josh though's making me think of Russell Westbrook though. It's that triple double where you do everything. The ball boy probably is. I know, please. 30 points in the G League. We're gonna break him up, break him up. And please. The Lakers are so hilarious. It's not even funny. They had like 80 more free throws. And then Memphis. Yeah, and what? He still ain't ready for the NBA. Cooper, are you talking about for the Bills? Amari? Yeah, Amari fits in good with the Bills. Yeah, he's always been a good player. I mean, only problem that hurt him in Dallas, he sucked on the road. He used to be a beast on at home. And I still don't know why Dallas let him go. I liked him when he was with the Raiders. That's the last time Derek Carr moved me. But Bronny getting love, this cracks me up. Bronny got love. Okay. Yeah, I don't, I give my Bills had a rest. I mean, I was glad for the win. Mhm. But like I said, I want to see results in January. I don't get excited about, Yeah, that Bronny thing is hilarious. The Rams, the Rams. I think the defense is more of a concern, secondary, because they gave up a lot. Jared Goff picked them apart just like Stafford did. Well, no, the reason why Rich asked me, I'm going to tell you why the Rams, because the Rams got a better receiving core. And I trust Matthew Stafford more than I do Baker Mayfield. I'm not hating on him. He did get lucky though the game against they beat the Chargers up, but he no, it's just that I know he can go for one of them Baker Mayfield, Jameson Winston type of games. He old, but he's a good fit. Them receivers they got ain't no joke. Don't hate if you want. McVay got the Rams are the kind of team that if anybody slips, I'm telling you, I watched the first game against Detroit. They almost won that game. The Rams could be a dangerous team. Their defense sucks, but they got enough. Problem I had with Tampa Bay, it's part McGravy. The thing is this Baker can be prone to having a Baker, Jameson, Winston kind of situation, but sometimes they get beat on their own. They just do some stuff. Bronny ain't no business being in the NBA. Okay. He if he wasn't who he was, he'd probably be lucky to be a G leaguer and he probably would have taken about 3 or 4 years before he came up. About 3 or 4 years. He'd be riding pine for about a couple. And he wasn't the best prospect I've ever seen from high school to college to the NBA. So that last name got him up a lot quicker. But he's got to build up a little more muscle and he's got to build up a better shot, tangibles. The Rams are more dangerous. Tell them. It's not no hate. That's a fact. Because all you need to do is get catch fire. And Stafford can catch fire. He can throw that thing. And they got the right coach that if they can get hot at the right time, that's all it takes. Green Bay too. The Rams and Green Bay, that's what makes the NFC more compelling. There's nobody in the bottom in the AFC that I'm like, oh. But in the NFC, Green Bay and the Rams, because see, in the AFC, it's all top heavy. Kansas City, Buffalo, maybe Baltimore. That's it. Pittsburgh's questionable. Ain't nobody scared of Houston. Ain't nobody be scared of Denver, you know. So, but the NFC, hmm, the Rams, yeah, Cooper Cup. It can happen, especially if you catch the wrong team on a hot day. That's all it takes is one team to get hot, especially what I see in the NFC. So that's why, even though I might clown Sean McVay, McFry, Mc whatever you want to call it, McNugget, he is more dangerous than Kyle Shanahan's. Those Shanigans got more talent. Sean is more scary because the Rams actually do what they supposed to do. You can. You should have beat Detroit that game in Detroit. You should have. As far as Philly goes, you just gotta decide to clamp down on the ground. You gotta make them. Yeah, I did a video about it, Rich. If you ever watch my channel, I did a video about it. And I watched the series of Chicago, Miami very vividly in the 90s too, as a Heat fan. And Rodman would actually just poke him and push him, and Pippen and Jordan would too, and get to him mentally. And he was not equipped to deal with that because he was trying to bogart and get physical and throw bowls, and they got at him. And then, of course, consequently, Tim Hardaway Sr. would be shooting. Miami didn't have a record of shooting outside shooters who were going to match Chicago's firepower. They might win a game in a 5-game series, but Chicago would dust their butt off. Zoe was physically fit, but he wasn't mentally for what they had to do because they could get him to jump and act a certain way. So, yeah, Green Bay could do it. They're a dangerous team. No, no. He had moments where he looked well. Well, let me say it like this. Jordan was a better player, but he wasn't better at 40 than LeBron. I'm gonna tell you why. Because he wasn't trying to compete at the same as LeBron is. That's why. Mentally he wanted to, but there are things that he had great games and he had off games, you know. Um, he kept the Wizards competitive when he was there. Let me tell you something. If he had Anthony Davis, they would have been in the playoffs. He had Anthony Davis, there would have been no coach getting fired. Teams would have been more adjusted. The LeBrons and the Ball Bros in Charlotte. That's hilarious. Oh, I got Larry Bird in a blowout. In a blowout, because Bird was more mentally capable of doing things. He made things happen. He made things happen. He went to 5 finals in 12 years, won 3 out of 5. LeBron's been playing 20 plus years. You do the math. And injury stopped Larry Bird, and he still got the respect 40 years later. Well, you ask me, and you see how good Larry Bird was, and LeBron couldn't have dare stopped after 12 years. Body of work wasn't compared to Larry Bird. Bird was a bad boy. Bad. Bad. LeBron's a better athlete, but that's all he's got over Bird. Mentally, I'm giving Larry Bird all day. Yeah, you put Michael Jordan with Anthony Davis at 40, then you can ask me that question. I can't. The reason why it's not fair to ask me was the Jordan better than him because he didn't have no Anthony Davis. And let me tell you something: 40-year-old Michael Jordan wasn't great on the Wizards. He had moments. He wasn't great. LeBron at almost 40 isn't great on the Lakers. He has moments. But you give me somebody like an AD, that'll break the tie. Because then you see what Jordan would do. He won it. It wasn't like he beat him for it. He won it. When that finals went down back then, um, in 1980 against the Rockets, the people didn't even trip on finals MVPs like that. That was an ugly finals, but Cornbread came up big, but no one ever talks about Cedric Maxwell as one of the greatest players ever or anything like that. He won that finals MVP. But everybody know Larry Bird was the best player on the team. But it wasn't like it was some distinctive thing at that time. You win in the chip, you win a chip. It don't matter who the finals MVP was. You win the chip. That's all it was about. People didn't start making a big deal about winning finals MVP until Steph Curry got his. Because everybody else just, oh, they hold against. Just like some people gonna hold against Jason Tatum. But he got him a ring. Well, Cedric Maxwell Cornbread played for the Boston Celtics. He has a podcast, by the way. Check it out. They got a podcast story where they ask the best white players they ever went up against. That's actually an actual title with Cedric Maxwell, and I forgot who else was on there, but they're actually talking about it. You should check it out. He has some real informative stuff, and of course, former Lakers come on there from time to time. I think Michael Cooper's been on there. Well, I watched it, and they talk about the first time they met Bird, and they had crazy stories about that. So I think you'll dig it. If you're a basketball head and you like old school hoops and stories, check it out. It's a good podcast. I enjoy it. And by the way, when I do these live streams, I got my own podcast through YouTube. So it's on the podcast. You'll see my thing on there. I send all these lives on. So if you check out my stuff, it's on a live stream too. If you've missed any of my previous live streams. If you think they're worth watching and you want to, then you can check them out because I got something set up on these YouTube streets with that. Yeah, but Jason Williams was more fun though. Bibby played well. I'm not gonna go over here and get excited about Bibby because I thought Bibby played his best in Vancouver. He did do good with the Kings that first year. Yes, they are. Thank you, Ted. He did good that first year, but then when he started clipping his toenails and his fingernails and he signed that contract, Bobby Jackson scared me more than Bibby did. But he was more composed than Jay Will. That's the problem. See, the same things that you like about Jay Will's the same things you turn to loathe about Jay Will. He would do too many, me ball and flex and twirl and, you know, which is cool. But when you're getting your butt beat by 20, 30 points, he became a liability. And he was a liability on defense. And if he couldn't shoot and make plays, he was in trouble. But when he gave you an ooh and an ah, you know, he was entertaining and he had some handles. But they trying to compare him to Pistol Pete and all that mess. I said, look, Pistol Pete scored points. Jay Will had a moment. That one juke against Gary Payton is what they run as a real, run that clip to death. I liked them, but yeah, they were going to go anywhere. They had to get Bibby. There's a big difference when you're getting your butt knocked out in the first round and you're taking the Lakers to 7. That's the difference. 2 rounds later. So Jay Will, when he teamed up with Shaq and them in Miami, he played better than he did because he was, but I never really thought about it. Jay Will was good for what he did. That's pretty much it. You said it in a mouthful, cosign all that. Cause he would play cute. Yeah, no, did he? You just up there throwing no look passes and the ball hits the ball boy or hits the beer man. He's like, and it was cool. Jamal. Because Damian Stoudemire to me played his best ball in Toronto. I didn't really care for him after he left Toronto. It was cool in Portland, but I thought Sabonis was the better guard there. But Jamal was consistent. They did compare white chocolate to him because of the flair. And I'm gonna tell you a story too. As I had white folks back in the day used to come up to me and say, "You can have Iris and we got white chocolate." They used to come at me and say that mess. I said, "Okay, fine." And the next thing you know, Iverson going to the finals and Jamal going to Cancun. And it wasn't until he got with Miami, he came up with Miami and he got that ring and he played. But no one, he had a window. He didn't have a career. He had a window about that big. But Jason Will was like big, about like that. About 99 to about oh. And after '01, he was on a milk carton. He had handles, but you got to do more than just handle. Oh, yeah, they were serious about that. If he came out, good one, Ted. If he came out today, there you go. If he came out today, there you go. We just didn't have all the technology then with it. You can ask somebody how the white chocolate thing. Oh, yeah, they were serious about that. But people knew that thing came and went. That didn't last long. That didn't last long. Now, if you go to some of them same folks, they don't even talk about 'em no more. Yep, that's what was said to me in my ear. Sure enough, we were laughing about it back then too. It was about, well, I won't say it was about oh. Yep, because they was on him. And then when they lost that game to the Lakers, it was a 5-game first round. That's when the Lakers tore their butt up. And Rick Alderman had to make a big decision. and and that's when they went and got BB and Bobby Jacks because he was getting ate up. He was fun to watch, but fun is like the club. Fun don't pay your bills. Fun don't keep food on your table. But fun is fun, but then you gotta wake up. Oh, he had more hype than Caitlin Clark because he had street appeal. Are you kidding me? He was Malibu's most wanted. Are you kidding me? White boy throwing no look passes and prancing. He was nice in college with him and Randy Moss. They were nice, but he was erratic though. He did have the hype machine though, but imagine, yeah. No, I heard LeBron say that mess. No, the heck he sound. How you gonna say that when Shaq and Kobe on the same team and Tim Duncan's playing the league? Hey, you can't even say that mess. He won an MVP in '04. But let me tell you the story. The Lakers played them in the Western Conference Finals, and I thought that was one of the reasons. Yeah, yeah. I did a video where I said prayers to him, and I mean that. He um was not the best player in the league. He had stats, but he was not the best player in the league. He was never better than Tim Duncan or Shaq in their peak in their prime. He could make a case he was top 4 or 5. He's somewhere in an argument. If he was the best player on the team, he would have attracted more help to get to Minnesota to help him win. He never did. That's why he took his behind to Boston, took his talents to Boston. He was not the best player in the league. His MVP year, which was 20 years ago, and I felt bad for the Lakers because I said this was cruise control because they beat Minnesota in the Western Conference Finals. That was his only time where he got deep in there, and he was not imposing his will. He could score. Yeah, I give him his due. But he was not that dude. Well, I like to know when was he supposedly the best player in the league? That's what LeBron said. But LeBron say anything to downplay some other folks. But whatever. She not canceled. She ain't canceled. It's just that she ain't canceled until she shows up with somebody named uh Kayvon. Kayvon with a K in his hair and he looking crazy. Yeah, that's when she be canceled. Minnesota does have a certain reputation. Mhm. He was never the best player in the league. He wasn't better than Shaq and Kobe in their peaks and primes. He wasn't better than Tim Duncan. He was a guy that could be in the conversation with those cats. But unless you were competing for a chip, no one was sitting around talking about if he had this or that. He was talented, but he wasn't that dude that. Mm-mm. No, I don't remember when he was the best player in the league. Mm-mm. It's not his size. It's just that his game wasn't dominant. He didn't impose. People like to throw stuff up there like, "Oh, this guy was something." I remember I watched him, and I like KG, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Shoot, I'm not gonna lie because I watched him, and he did give me Peyton Manning vibes, like stats for the regular season. But Duncan was like Brady, but Duncan could beat you at his. Thank you so much, TUT. Duncan could beat you though. He could beat him at his own game. Garnett couldn't beat him at his game. That's why I can't say he was the best because you know, he's talented and he got better and he fit really good with Boston. But he had to have all the components, you know, talent wise, and he had some numbers. I'm not taking nothing from him. It just didn't end that well, though. Him and Paul George went on this crusade to try to play with everybody, and it just, you know, so that's how I look at it. I can ask some of my buddies from back in the day, but I don't think two people gonna say that. Tim had that big old head. Tim just had a odd. He was like a regular shaped brother. He was muscular, but he was kind of chunky, but he had that big old head. But he was in shape. I mean, he did yoga. He did the thing. Embiid is always hurt. Tell me something I don't know. He hurt when he ain't hurt. I saw that. I was cracking up about Brendan Haywood. I like what he said about Shaq. That had me rolling. Shaq put a bow in his guts, and he said he was dizzy. See, people don't understand how strong Shaq was, how dominant he was. People don't understand. And the fact is, they didn't even properly give him all his free throws that they should have given. And I see the Lakers now have like 30 plus free throws in teams. I said, Shaq should have had that by himself if the refs were fair. Yeah, he was funny. He had me laughing. He said that thing about Gilbert Arenas too. I cracked up. Yeah, he was funny. Brendan was funny, but he didn't leave much of a mark. He was a big old sloggy dude, physical, but you know, if you're talking about the dryness, but he didn't play like him. Tim locked you up, you know. Tim was bad. Tim was bad. Yeah, he did. And that's fine. But he came to NBA and he was just a big body. Now you can make that point, but what does it mean in totality? One man been to 6 finals and got 5 chips. The other man ain't been past the second round. So what's your point? That's all I'm gonna say about that. When you start talking about dominance, you better have some resume to back it up. Cause aside from that, he ain't got nothing. He's not in Tim Duncan's area code. Yeah. Well, he may look like an alien, but he got into KG skin. I mean, Duncan was a beast, yo. He had a better mindset. He wasn't just better health, he had a better mindset. Joel Embiid is like he's looking for something to come through the door that's gonna give him a sign. He's like looking for this flash. He doesn't have the mental capacity. Tim worked hard at what he did. You know, you get called a big fundamental for a reason. 56% saying Philadelphia. Good poll, too. This is a real good poll. I'll probably be on in a couple of days. Thinking about the next couple of days, I'll probably be doing 3 lives. So probably maybe Thursday. Um, talent wise, it was Derek Coleman for me. McDyess had great athleticism, but Derek Coleman was better to me. He just was a waste. That's all. Should have been one of the baddest ever. Yeah. Yeah, like Wemba. Yeah, he's bad. He's nice. He's coming into his own. The Spurs still got work to do. They still a work in progress. Thoughts and prayers with Coach Pop. The Spurs are about a year or two away from being a legit playoff team, a legit one. And when I say legit, I mean maybe a 4 or 5 seed where they'll be legit. This year, maybe next year, I think they'll be scraping 6 to 8, maybe 9 spot. But they get another piece. He gets some more seasoning. Well, yeah, I'm taking Derek Coleman on. Better run. It was Nick Foles. I like the Doug Williams's dominance was more spectacular, but Nick Foles' run because Nick Foles was a backup quarterback. Doug Williams was a starter. There's a big difference. Pressure in different ways. Doug had more dominance, but Nick Foles' run was like, wow, that was like out of a movie. It's like Back to the Future. Him versus Prime KG. Who versus Prime KG? Who? You talking about Duncan? You gotta ask it who you talking about, him versus Prime KG. Oh, come on now. That's not even fun, man. Of course it's gonna be KG because Victor is still a work in progress. He's a puppy. He needs about a couple years or so. He's not even close to where he's gonna be. Ask me that question, God, for in 2 or 3 years, and I can answer it better. Wimby right now is too raw bone. He gets a couple years of seasoning. He's not on KG's level. He can score and he can block shots, but he's not that kind of dude yet. Needs some more seasoning. Horner said, "Come on now, that's not even funny to you." BJ Armstrong's one of those cats that he was in the right place, right time, and he had a little game, you know. But Hornacek was a better polished player. Uh, BJ was like a double junior whopper Baron Davis. He had some moment, but he wasn't that dude. Hornacek could play, and he was better than him. Yeah, because the defense sucked. Yeah, so much for being a defensive prowess. And what does that mean again? What did he do in Charlotte? You make it sound like you can be an all-star. What does that mean? A lot of guys were all-stars. Did that mean they were great players? What's your point? I mean, I'm not trying to be smart guy. I'm just saying what's the point? Because yeah. And what did he exactly do that was memorable? Except when he was with Charlotte and he talked trash about Jordan and Jordan lit his butt up and won. So what did he do? And I think BJ's a cool cat. Had a little cockiness to him, but not like that though. Mhm. I mean, I'm glad he got fans though. No. Really? That's what it always does. It still mean that today? I mean, I don't get excited unless a guy maybe wins an All-Star MVP or I look at him as distinctive. No one ever looked at BJ Armstrong as one of the top 25 players in the league. Thought he was a good player at spurts, but not nobody that you sit around and go, "Ooh, BJ Armstrong." It wasn't that dude. Stockton. Even Gary would tell you that. He played the kind of point guard that was so textbook and tailor made. The guy could have played like that for 25 years. You know, he could shoot. He was precise. He was part of the evolution. If you, and what I mean by modern evolution, I'm talking about you go from him to Nash to Curry. I like BJ's feistiness, but he was a feisty cat, but it wasn't somebody that I sat around and thought he was some all-star. He was that kind of player. I thought he could have an outer body. And again, a product of a cat who looked good in Phil Jackson's system that anywhere else, he was average. I like Gary personally, clutch for the Bulls. He wasn't clutch in Charlotte. Again, he wasn't a guy that people were like breaking their necks to, you know. Let's not get it twisted now. Guy had a moment. But let's not get carried away like, people like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I wasn't, I will say this. He didn't stat pad. He played within the confines of the team he was with. He didn't stat pad. He played point guard in a more traditional way. That's why he could play 20 plus years. He could have. He was good at what he did. Set them screens, those picks. That's not gonna make him. That wouldn't have made a difference. You can't act for one thing, and for second, Space Jam wasn't that memorable. I know. I'm like, and no one ever accused John Stockton of stat padding. Come on now, that's getting a bit ridiculous. No one ever said that. Oh, John Stockton is getting that 10-10, 10-10. He wasn't that dude. He played within the confines of the system. You could say he did some cheap shots with his screens. You could say he could be dirty on the low because he looked like a choir boy. He looked like a preach the way he would, But you can't say that he was. No, he wasn't no stat pattern. I do wonder if Jerry Sloan had a green light him to shoot more, how that would have been for him. But I got much respect for Stockton. Stockton was a beast, y'all. Space Jam wasn't a great. I liked a couple of scenes. I Believe I Can Fly is one of my all-time favorite soundtrack songs ever. Should have got an Oscar for that because R. Kelly did the thing with that one. But my favorite scene in Space Jam, anybody who knows me knows my favorite scene in the whole movie. And I'll tell you if you don't know. It's when Michael Jordan holds the basketball out and Barkley and Reggie and Patrick and Barkley, he says, I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna give you back your powers. I think George should have got an Oscar for that because they touched that ball and they got that. That's my favorite scene in the whole movie. This is a good one. Jason Kidd gonna get the dub because he had the better overall totality in terms of what he did individually. But Tony Parker is criminally slept on. That teardrop shot, one of the sickest shots ever. And I'm gonna tell you, if it wasn't for the fact the same thing that worked for him worked against him. He played with an all-time great player in Tim Duncan and an all-time great head coach in Popovich. If he got to play somewhere else where he could showcase that, I think he'd have gotten more love. Because Tony Parker's underrated as floor he did as a floor general. To me, Tony Parker's everything that CP3 wishes he was. Yeah. But Kid's gonna get this because Kid could beat you like Magic could beat you, like Rondo could beat you. One of the few guys he could score 2 or less points and dominate you, beat you with assists, rebounds, or steal. He beat you in different ways. So if Kid's score 3-point shooting was better, that would have been a blowout between the two. But Tony Parker is underappreciated. I'm giving Kid the edge because Kid, but Tony Parker should get more love. But again, I don't know who that is, and we're not gonna tolerate that here. So he got to go. But that's a good question, Ted. That's a good one. Because I do like Tony Parker a lot. And time goes on, I think he has been underrated. And I'm glad you're here to say that too, because most people would never ever ask that question about those two. And not just because they're light skinned either. And he messed with some suspect chicks off the court. But that's another video, another story though. We're not gonna go into their personal bees, but it was crazy. 53% saying yes to Philly, 47 no. So it's a pretty close poll. Interesting football fans to Marie. Okay. Are you serious? Are you really serious? Come on now, you gotta do better than that. You know good and well I'm taking Ginobili over him. Oh, come on now. Now, if you were asking me who can agitate, get up under your skin with their acting antics, this is about a draw. Because Ainge, that's the only thing he had over Manu. He could get up under your skin and he could really throw the antics on. You know, Manu could flop and roll, but Ainge could really get up under you. That's all they got in common. But Ginobili, come on. Ginobili came up big. No one ever looks at Ainge like that. Yeah, that's because Ainge could agitate. Now listen, if it was an agitating top 10 ever, oh shucks, he's probably in the top 4 as far as agitating you go. Which ain't that far from Rodman, but in a different way of getting under your skin. Ginobili. And I love Joe Dumars too. I love Joe. That's a good one. But Ginobili, man, that zigzag, the way he would flip and move and swirl, especially with the hair on his head and move, he could have been an MVP of a finals against. Well, meanwhile, Ginobili was a bad dude. Ginobili was a bad dude. As great as Duncan was and Parker, Ginobili was probably the next most important offensive force after Duncan. Even though I know Parker got the Finals MVP in '07 against Cleveland, no, Ginobili was a headache for you on offense, and he would frustrate you on defense. Joe Dumars was cool and played great in the pocket, but no, man, Manu, I gotta go Manu. I call it as I look, and I was a Joe Dumars fan, but Ginobili, man, Ginobili, he came up big, yo. He do a lot of everything. You remember that block against James Harden? Taking them charges, coming out. I mean, he just gave you it all. He's one of those guys. My motto is this: someone can be more talented than you, someone can be better than you. They can't outwork you. Don't let no one ever outwork you. And no one ever outworked my new. So I'm going with Ginobili. But I like Joe. It's not a big gap, but it's a little bit, like I say. From the States originally, Danny M. Where you from? I like Joe D too. But, you know, Ginobili was tough, yo. Joe was too. But I can make a comparison because they both played for teams that would not be considered David Stern ball. They was the fiery. I used to live in Washington State, so San Pedro. Okay. Well, it's like he woke up and got woke. He's only like 118 now. It's like, well, you didn't even do that back then. I know California. I said I lived in Washington State. I didn't say I was know about San Pedro. You know, I'm familiar with aspects of Cali for sure. Yeah, Luke Campbell, he be full of it. I think he wanted to have her. I think he wanted to hit. That's what I think. Listen, I said this. I'm gonna say this again for all the people who don't like it. She should have won if we're going by morals, just on GP general principle. If a country is actually based on morality, it's not. Yep, it's not like she shouldn't have won. And I still think there was a fix against her because of Elon Musk and all that. But at the same time, she lost because she was ill equipped. And I just don't think that there she tried in 2020 and it didn't hit. She doesn't have now in this case, I will say in her defense, she had a short-term notice to get on ball. And this might be the only time she could have run because I don't think she didn't do it in 2020 when she had the regular whole system going against Joe Biden. They tried to give her a token to see what people would bite. There was no bite for her. She just doesn't attract folks like that. If he's talking about from common sense, yeah. Common sense, Hillary Clinton should have won too, but we don't deal with common sense. But I know why again, I know why she lost. And she wasn't going to probably win on a regular thing. Now, somehow 2028, that might be her only last hope if she does it. But unless she gets some personality, unless she stops acting like she's high and mighty, you talk to the black folk, come up with some real ideas and agenda, and get you a running person that doesn't come off stiff like that old turkey out of Minnesota. Get you some personality, have some soul about you. You may have something because you at least you go out with dignity. For real. She got to go out with some dignity. It's one thing you can lose being loud, black, and mad. Don't lose being corny and generic with a cornball. Tim Ballmer, he was. He's like, well, I like Prince. I'm from Minnesota. And I like Beyonce too. Like, come on, man. Come on. He's so dry. Dry. Right. All the usual stiff neck turkey laughs and stiff generic. Well, that's a different beer. Well, see, what's he gonna do for him? Clean his shoe? What you need, Master Trump? What you need? What you gonna do for him? What you gonna do? You a third tier politician with nothing distinctive. Yeah, he out there like Keith Sweat, out there begging, panhandling. What Trump's supposed to do with that? What he supposed to do with that? Do too corny. That's what it is. See, it's one thing if you lose. What's another when you're a cornball? And ain't nothing worse than some cornball out there crying, talking about, honey, can you hook me up, please? Like you ain't Keith Sweat. You out there begging. Ain't no woman over there you begging for. So I ain't taking Tim Scott too serious. That's what these turkeys get because they gonna find out what Trump really like. Mm-hmm. Ain't got no use for you. Gonna laugh at you. One way you gonna do, you should look at them over there. They just begging, just begging. Like they Keith Sweat. Got you all twisted, crying. Please, please, please. Like you James Brown out there begging. Ain't nothing more embarrassing than that. What they talked about, because I saw something. They were talking about the game. They was talking about those hits. What now was funny is somebody did a video clip about that game and they showed the second half. Do you know Pittsburgh only had 2 possessions in the second half because Philly chunked clock up, choked the clock out because Russell was hurting the ball and then they got into some bad position and yeah. Oh, okay. I ain't see that. I didn't see that at all. Joey Porter Jr. Wow. I didn't see that at all. Hmm. Okay. That's a news flash for me. Didn't see that at all. Not at all. I'll check it out. They gotta play Kansas City in a week. They gotta play Baltimore. I did see Rex Ryan. He said I know no one talks about the Vikings. That's the quietest 12-2 team I've ever seen in my life. He still thinks that Justin Fields should be the starter because he said they losing not only running with Pittsburgh. They don't have a receiving core. Tomlin got them playing good. Oh yeah, they asked Tomlin what he thought about the game when they lost to Philly. He said, we lost. What you want me to say? Yeah, the Vikings, their defense is good. Jefferson's great. If Sam Darnold doesn't bobblehead and throw too many picks, they could stick in some games. Well, he got punched in the mouth. That's why Philadelphia beat him up. That's all that was. That's an old fashioned in the woodshed, got your butt beat. You did a good job against Barkley. You didn't let Barkley, he had a couple decent runs, but Jalen Hurt, they owned you. They chewed clock up against you because there was a video. Somebody put it up on YouTube. Steelers didn't even see the ball in the second half. Philly Philly chewed clock up, beat them at takeaway, keep away. Well, Tomlin got a right to be mad because the fact is you know. When you say be the man, what you trying to say? Will he mysteriously leap over Patrick Mahomes? Y'all got the kind of talent. I told you Jordan Love was nice. Remember you was trying to get him. You weren't feeling him about a year or so ago, and I told you Jordan Love gonna be something. Yeah, y'all stay with a core. Y'all problem is that y'all can't get caught playing comfort football. There's cute football and there's comfort football. Comfort football is when y'all get comfortable and y'all don't finish like what y'all supposed to start and y'all could do it. That's what y'all did to Frisco. Y'all got comfortable and that's how they snuck y'all. If you keep your foot on the gas, you can go. You got to finish what you start. Yeah, y'all can always stay with a deep core. But I don't know how he gonna be the man when Patrick Mahomes is still playing. I don't know how he be the man. Yeah, Jacobs is bad. He finally got himself out of Alcatraz. Shoot, left the Raiders, and now he can be free. I like how these running backs get out of jail and they balling elsewhere. Jacobs, um, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley got out of jail, and they were the one who disappointed me. And you know who I did? Because if you watch my video, my football week, I was very upset with Jonathan Taylor. Dropped that ball at the 1 yard line and started dancing. I'm like, man, easier said than done. Easier said than done. It's true because these cats been running like they free. I ain't lying. Derrick Henry cats like they were locked up. And once they got out of them, once they got them Alcatraz, once they got out of them Supermax football prisons, shoot, them cats went crazy. Cause you see it, Saquon Barkley dancing like I'm free. Derrick Henry, I'm free. Jacobs, I'm free. Am I lying? So you play with the Giants, you play with the Raiders, and you play with the Titans. Yeah, he is. And he dying in there too. Yep. Yeah, he was. He was dying in there. He couldn't wait to get out of there. I'm telling you. Shoot. Man, some teams got you on lockup, bread and water, and they suck. You would too. You play for all play for all locked up teams ain't going nowhere. Man, they get out of there, man. They like, wow, I ain't seen you play that 5 for real. Kid you not. You can tell they free. Mm, see, a lot of people think they can beat KC this year. And I'm like, y'all don't see 13-1 like I do. It's a lot of football left, you know. You would be too. So who he had the high five before he came there. He's like, thank you for getting me out. Thank you for getting me out. That's what Devontae Adams, even the Jets sucked though, but he's happy to get out the Raiders because even though he get to play with Aaron Rodgers and it sucked, he went from one sad situation to a upward more sad situation. Somehow 4-10 sounds better than 2-11, don't it? And you know why? Because their defense is decent and they don't make a lot of mental mistakes. Sean Payton got him, but they were lucky against the Colts. If Jonathan Taylor don't get cued at the 1 yard line, that could have been 20-7. Because that was it right there. That was a 14-point swing. Because Bo Nixon was trying to play quarterback for both teams. He was definitely trying to throw it for both. Oh yeah, because they're 9-5, but he can't be impressed by that way Bo Nixon threw a couple picks. Bo Nixon threw a couple bad picks. But that was a gut check win that they came back. Yeah, Sean Payton got them playing better. I still think they about a year or two away though from being a threat. But he got them playing better though. You know. They will definitely be a team that can win 11 games, 10, 11 games as time goes on. They gonna snatch a game here and there, but they got their growing pains. He's still young. He flawed. No, because CJ Stroud, no. they gave Miami. It wasn't for the defense, they could have lost that game. And that problem I had with Houston is that they got this identity. They try to play a certain way, and it's like, y'all make it a lot difficult. But y'all very much middle of the road right now. CJ Strawberry throwing some bad picks, and they don't read the field properly. It's good enough to win that old cartoon of a division by default. It did, but even when he played, when they beat us, they scored 20 points, and they tend to play the same way. They don't really give you anything else. They lack variety. So they kind of stagnant. Injury or not, they're kind of a stagnant team. That's how I look at them. So I will be on for another half hour, and then I'm gonna call it a day. And I will probably more than likely be back Thursday. I'm about to take you off for saying such. I ain't got no time for no trolls. Yeah, he talking about he don't know. He's like, I'm like, you were at the parties, and I don't think he was at the part, but he had association with him. But I don't. I'm so tired of these fake black entertainers and athletes. People like when someone gets in trouble, they're like, I don't know. Who are you? I don't know who you are. And then it wasn't but like 3, 4 years ago, you was all on the videos, all dancing. She be trolling too hard, ain't she though? She's too funny. She know good and well she'd like to check the video. She knows something too. She know. She know. Yeah, the fakeness of the brothers. That's why black folk don't get along. Black folks don't get along. That's what people can use it against you. They don't get along. Be lying through their teeth too. Because it's a plantation out there. If it wasn't, cats could be straight up. Jay-Z have his lawyer talking about, well, our friendship and the bond with Mr. Combs, we don't really associate. I'm like, stop lying. I call him Cap. You in every picture for a decade straight. Decades straight. You did songs with him. Y'all done business together. Y'all, the people that you associate with him, Black Billionaires Club and all that, time you be talking about your money is what's getting your butt in trouble. Because these people own you, but you'll never tell the truth. That's the problem. No, I ain't afraid to call him out at all. By no stretch. By no stretch. Not at all. Because, first of all, and I'm going to add to when you're bucking. You're bucking when you turn your back on the cat you used to hang out with. That's a buck move right there. Yeah, I said it. If that was your friend to break bread with, and you drinking that wine, and you wearing them Italian suits and Gucci Uchi and Fucci Uchi and Fabucci and all these other things, now all of a sudden someone gets in trouble and now you getting all amnesia. But you sitting up there sipping on their wine glasses. You sitting up there smoking their cigars. You sitting up there throwing your eyes and your hair back. And you taking all these pictures with them over the years, unless of course you were working for the feds. Unless you was an informant. Unless you got a wire on you. Mr. Carter, maybe you were wired up. Maybe you. But then again, Foxy Brown, Aaliyah, Beyonce, Rihanna. Hmm. So, you know, but I seen your story. Something gonna stick with something, you know. But anyway, if that was your boy back then, it should still be your boy now. There's ways that you word stuff. Oh yeah, she is. It's not going to end well for her either. Because the extension's coming for payment too. Mhm. 50-50. Okay, the poll is 50-50. Okay, this is cool. Okay. Hmm. Must be some New York Giant fans here. This is hilarious. Well, hmm. See, he right message, wrong messenger. I know what he was trying to say about you got to have a hood role, but the problem is he played Urkel and Stefan, and he was a TV cat. They tried the Tubi with him before Tubi even had an existence, and his movies were direct to video. No one cared about his cornball acting career. He wasn't even fit to be an extra in a Keenan and Cal updated movie when I think it was Cal did some corny movie that I watched late. No one was sweating Jaleel White. He got bigger and buff. He been working out, but that ain't nobody giving Jaleel no time of day. Nobody was giving Jaleel no time of day. He wants a Urkel reboot. Yeah, okay. He too corny. Well, now, cause he's Hollywood, yo. Shoot. First of all, he wants the Oscars and he be working, he's in the system. He likes the perks. It's not surprised. Yeah. It might be. Problem with Urkel though is that he just was corny. That's all. There was no translation to no big screen. Yeah, he might get him a couple of Tubi movies out. That's good. But let me tell you something. Even Omarion and Marcus Houston them had Tubi movies out. What was Urkel doing 20 years ago? His wasn't even fit for Tubi. He couldn't even get a side role with Nick Cannon. No one was touching him. He cornball and he's considered like a pompous jive turkey top of that. That's the reason people don't touch him. Listen, he should be happy at a pop culture iconic role. Get your residual, get your money, take care of yourself. Ain't nobody been sweating you. No one's sweating you. He been around since he was a kid. Straight to the barbershop. And when they put the alcohol on you, when they used to do that to me back in the day and count to 10 because that thing was gonna sting, that's as long as his and Jaleel White's in this movie. Nobody care about that mess. You know. Yeah, the hood version, and then get them for like 5 for 50 cents. Come on now. Nobody think about that cornball. But yeah, Spike been like that though, yo. Spike got Hollywood, yo. Well, Spike is about that lifestyle. I didn't look. I like the Stefan character because I'm gonna tell you a story. Babyface had for the "Cooling You" song out, and when he came in with that white suit, I thought that was lit. I like that, and I know all about Darius, oh freaky, oh freaky Darius. Darius be real bizarre with his stuff out here. Myra was sweet. Yeah, she was sweet, but even as big as it wasn't like it wasn't seen like the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. It wasn't like that. He had a chance though to compete against Carlton Banks for the cornball Olympics for brothers. I give him that. That's what it was. But no one was sweating him, no. You can be a cornball Olympian though, and get a gold medal for being a cornball. Appreciate everybody that smashed up the likes. I see the likes and the polls, so it's real good. Oh yeah, we like Carlton more. Because Jaleel White couldn't go nowhere with his role. He was just stagnant. He's still acting like he's more important, so he's still trying to press up like he's doing something deep. So I came in and went. But anyway, yeah, I did a video about that turkey, and I'm done with talking about him unless something else comes up. I don't really have much more to say about him. Oh, I was a young victim when I was a kid. Grandparent people used to take me to them. And you sit there with some white Santa, and you be up there coming up a long line, and he looking at you like, good and well, he won't come to your neighborhood. Cause my grandma had me rolling. My grandma, on my mother's side had me rolling. She said, "Some white dude come through there. I'll be ready for him." Crack me up. That's what I think. But Bad Santa is hilarious. The first one, I like that one. Probably Home Alone. Um, Bad Santa, and like Toys. The one, yeah, I forgot the one with the kid, the white cat with the glasses on. I like that one. Uncle Buck. One of them ones like I like those kind of things. They cool. Yeah, you be a long line, and you got long list and a lot of long crying, and yeah. Back in the day, back in the day. That's again, that's like designated to a whole different era though. So uh, so we got anybody coming through, feel free to come on through. And if you got any questions, feel free. I want a donation, want to hit the like, feel free. Glad to have pretty good crowd. Like I said, I'll be back in probably a couple days. Probably do a Thursday. Think I got to step out tomorrow, but Thursday I think will definitely be on the cards. So it'll definitely be two more times this week. Um, I know Kimberly Frazier gonna keep her mouth shut. They let Cam cook a bit, I mean, because that Steven knows he's got a total line with Shannon Sharp. You can't really agitate that. So they allow him more character than they normally would. They want to show that they're more inclusive. And it's not a surprise. They needed the brothers, to kind of have some personality. I think he's cool. The funky hats crack me up. And like them folks was like, Carl, what's that on his head? Uh, uh, uh. But it's more related towards things that, you know. So he deserves it. I mean, he shut him down last year when he tried to tell him that Dak Prescott was, you know, game manager. He's not gonna have much to do with that. We're not gonna have much to do with that because I heard they're gonna have a separate wing. I hope so. That basketball thing was corny. I saw it, but he doesn't fit with those guys. Kenny, Charles, Ernie, and Shaq. That's like cats that actually got a rapport. Stephen A. don't talk like that no more. He more inclined to kind of kicking it with Mad Dog Russo and Dan Orlovsky. Two things Stephen A don't like. Stephen A doesn't like anyone who can be more intellectually challenging him with the actual and the factual. And he doesn't handle nobody who can get street with him. Oh, and they know the game too, but they don't just know the game, they know the game. Kenny though acts like he getting bought and paid for, like he know Arlene. But see, Charles's timing and the way he talks and the way Shaq will look at you and stuff, and Ernie, Stephen A don't fit with that. Stephen A is either real. Yeah, so let me tell you about Get Street. T.O. got street with him. He said Kellerman's more black than he came out. Was real. He don't get street on TV. Because if a cat goes to him face to face and gets street with him, he can't handle that. He doesn't have that. He have to come on. He can't. He wants to come off like he gonna come unbuckle. Cause I watch his podcast and he try to act like he trying to get loud or try to get something. He can't get street with them cats. He can't get street. See, all Barkley got to say is, you know, he says y'all just wasting people's money and their time here. You know you lying to people because all you do is get paid to go in circles about the Lakers and the Cowboys. That's boring. That's keeping it for actual and factual. And he bougie because all he wants to talk about is Jerry Jones's plane and riding here and accommodating LA and Miami and the arts and the plays and stuff. Can't get street on him. That's what they brought Cam in for street cred. That's what I mean when I say get street. Shay Shay was country street, country backwards. It's not by accident. It's good tactful moves. Yeah, he busted him up. That's why Max Kellerman got ran off the network. Think about it. Because Kellerman was like bringing hip hop to his behind every day, and he couldn't stand it. And and again, intellectually stimulating, or you bring the streets. If you don't sit there and play that patty cake mess with him, he can't hang with nobody. That in mess that he did a couple weeks ago was embarrassing when he was telling Brewski and Shannon came at him about why the Cowboys with Belichick. And they're like, do you know about this guy? Do you know? And Brewski was even like, Shannon's right. I'm just gonna stop, pause. And he's like, you need to stop. You always talking about you don't know this. That was what I'm talking about. You watch some of them segments, he can ramble with Mad Dog. You know, Mad Dog can go back on history. But Mad Dog is kind of like a Joe Pesci, New York style sportscaster, broadcaster, goes over the top. But when he makes points, he gets points. But oh yeah. Because Stephen A is kind of like basically Stephen A is trying to pull an Arsenio Hall. It's a guy that's a personality that is charismatic enough to strike a chord on a show, but he ain't got the chops to make the show fulfilling. That's a big difference. When you ain't got the chops, it shows. Because Cat don't even try to play like he's reading off the teleprompter no more. He just be saying stuff. I watch it. That's why Wiles, Brew, and Nick Wrong got the best show going. That three-headed monster is sweet. That cats be sweet because they be bringing it. That show is sweet. They be bringing it. They own it. They own it. Even though Nick Wrong can get on your nerves, but Wiles is on point, yo. You don't have to try hard. Brew, they all fit. It fit. They was up there grading the Cowboys last hour. I was cracking up. And they still made it fit. And they said you being a tomato can and what you got. That's what I'm talking about. But see, Steve Renato is getting this elitist treatment because he's high company man. He's bigger. And, you know, so that's a different to it. Yeah, I cracked up off that last night. And I love the Nick Banners. I like they show. They show be hitting. They crack me up. They crack me up because they got ways of going around it. They made me appreciate Steve um, uh, the coach used to coach the Jets. who I used to thought was a cornball coach, but it make him cool on the show. And whatchamacallit used to be the yeah, he see that's that shuffleboard that that's why I can't take him serious. He's still trying to dignify him. You just said the man lost his natural mind, which he does. He has. They clowned him, Brewski and Shay clowned him the other day talking about some Belichick was gonna go to Dallas. What they need. I'm like, y'all don't you obviously your journalism degree failed you. That's what I mean by street. Cats tell him the straights and he just don't get it. It don't click. So that's why it shows a fraud. Go ahead and wife up Molly and y'all can do it remote because it's too corny and she loud and corny. That's all he want to do. And see, the Cowboys fell off so bad, he ain't even sit in his chair on Sunday sniggling no more. That's how bad it is because everybody know they ain't got nothing. No. But that's because he works for the company and the company wants him to talk about, you know, and that's what he does. But he bought and paid for it. So I don't pay that turkey to mind. Yeah, it is. True words never spoken before, right on. So I see him though. But I remember when he was a bit more humbler. It's been a while though. Oh yeah, legs was cool. He's cool. Straight to the point. It's cats like him and Teddy Bruschi that when you want straight to the point cats, that's where you go to. That ain't hard to do. I told you if you got knowledge or you come with street, Steven ain't got nothing for you. You have to like basically play checkers and go slow with him and then try to like act like he's doing something. And once in a while he has an interesting counterpoint, but sometimes his takes just be like he just ain't he just don't he's always thinking star power or how about we do this or let's make concessions and trying to talk like he a lawyer. Yet they're trying, let's make concessions. Let's no, no. That he's the reason why people are disenfranchised with sports now. Cause he didn't lie too much. I like him with I do. Jay Rose is cool, yo. He could fit anywhere. They just don't want him to fit though. That's all. But he fit anywhere though. And most of the time I'm cool with Jay Rose. Most of the time. I like Jay Rose. Most of the time. Been a couple of things I kind of look at him sideways with, but most time he cool. He got a good blend of the streets and the smarts. He puts it together. Make himself fit. Mm, it's gonna take a little while though. He ain't gonna get the Tony Romo hookup. I'm just saying, maybe over time. Romo be there in 5 years or less. They both good at what they do, but Romo didn't took Jim. Think about it. Romo ran a Hall of Famer back to the booth, back into the studio, and Phil Sims. That guy wants so Romo gonna get it quick because Romo got the audience. Brady got the hookup because he won in Tampa Bay, and they gonna utilize him. I don't even think he's 100 into it. I think it's just because it's straight money, and it keeps him in the game and keeps him in the game. But I don't even think it's just like you know. But he's gotten better though. Yeah, as a broadcaster, because he came up there with Jim Nance. Oh, don't act like him and Jim Nance ain't giving Troy and Joe Buck a run, because they consider one of the best duos going. Romo's a good announcer. He was on point with quite a few things early on. I'm just saying, you know. I watch it. I watch how things go. I see who they put you up with. Again, you have to watch this live stream when we start talking. Oh yeah, they better. And Aikman definitely, but I'm just saying, I watched former Cowboys getting hooked up in booths. Don Meredith used to be up with the Monday Night Football with Howard Cosell and Frank Gifford. Just telling you, man, they hook it up. If Roger Staubach had a wanted, he would have gotten it. I'm sure Danny White maybe could have gotten it. I'm just telling you. Don't be surprised if Dak Prescott gets a blazer. He stays. I'm just telling you, they hook them up. Some about them Cowboys get them broadcasting gigs. You'll see. You have to watch this live stream for me to go in and about certain things I don't talk about in regular videos. And a blazer, he been there almost 10 years. Next year's his 10th year. Think about it. And he's the first black quarterback they've had. So I'm quite sure that Jerry Jones got something lined up, hooking him up. Hey, he gonna be your boy when you have to watch him on broadcasting. This is Dak. Because he do articulate good and he be dressed up. He just don't play the game like that. He play the game, but he play another game. But they gonna hook him up. Remember they had that bed commercial with him to get the right temperature for your back? So he already got him endorsed. Yeah, they like that. They like it. They don't even know why they really like him, but they like him. They like him because he's safe. But I'm just saying, that's what I see coming. He'll get better treatment than Russell because Russell ain't gonna get no more commercials like that unless, of course, Pittsburgh goes to a Super Bowl. Okay, I'm still on. I still got like a couple minutes before I'm gonna go. But he could get it. Could definitely get it. Okay, so I got a couple more minutes. Please continue to hit that like. And the poll has been good so far. 50-50 though. Wow. No, he didn't. He got what he could get on the open market. That's not robbery. That's not robbery. He did as much as Tony Romo's done. How's it robbery? And you get what the going market wants for you. He was an MVP runner up. So how's it robbery? He's gonna have statistically, when his career's over, he'll probably be second all time. In what universe is he as good as Josh Allen? Josh Allen been to an AFC Championship game. Dak Prescott's never been past the second round. Josh Allen has got more postseason wins. How's he as good as? I mean, I like the humor that you got, and you can humor me, but I don't see where he's as good as him. Not really, because Ezekiel Elliott was 1,000 yard running back. Who has Josh Allen played with that was the last Buffalo Bill running back to go for 1,000 yards? And CeeDee Lamb was as good as anything that Josh had at receiver and a better defense. Where's the Michael Parsons? Same arm? No, he ain't as effective as Josh. Josh got more wins. Y'all some funny people. If Dak was as good as Josh Allen, they wouldn't be trying to call for a way for him to move on from him. First of all, Dak is always injury prone too. I think that's my cue to go because I can't entertain nothing this crazy. Dak Prescott gets out the second round. You please wake me up. Please let me know. I think when he wakes up, he'll let you both know. Yeah, it is crazy. This is some hilariousness. I got to go. I got one more minute before I go too, because this is getting a bit ridiculous now. Talking about some Dak Prescott with the. I think Dak would do good if he went to Pittsburgh or somewhere with a coach that could do something with him. But uh, I'm not entertaining this though. But anyway, I will, if not tomorrow, definitely back on Thursday. So appreciate everybody that came out. Always great questions, some great ideas, great support. Appreciate you. Peace the best. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. Check out my videos because I got videos up and going. If you haven't checked them out, continue to hit the like, subscribes. Appreciate everybody coming through. You know the ones I always keep it consistent and keep it on the one. And anytime you got ideas and stuff come up, always shoot me something, let me know.